Imagine being stripped of your humanity, your body mutilated, your mind erased, and your identity reduced to nothing but a tool for your oppressors. This is the grim reality faced by the Stalkers, some of the most tragic and disturbing creations under Combine rule. Stalkers are some of the most grotesque and disturbing entities in Half-Life, showcasing the horrifying lengths to which the Combine will go to maintain their dominance. These unfortunate individuals were once human, captured during the Combine's ruthless conquest of Earth. Through a series of nightmarish procedures, they are robbed of their humanity and reshaped into frail skeletal figures. Cybernetic implants replace limbs and other body parts, leaving them as lifeless tools for their labor. Their faces, stripped of all expression, often feature mechanical replacements or disfiguring scars, making them a chilling reminder of the Combine's power to erase individuality and bend people to their will. The transformation into a stalker involves both physical and psychological destruction. This brutal process takes place in facilities like Nova Prospect, where victims endure unimaginable torment as they are reshaped into obedient drones. Their minds are wiped, leaving them as silent figures wandering aimlessly or performing monotonous tasks dictated by their masters. While Overwatch soldiers may act as the Combine's enforcers, Stalkers represents an even deeper horror, a life reduced to near mechanical existence. Encountering a Stalker for the first time is a deeply unsettling moment. Their awkward, unnatural movements and gaunt bodies give them an almost ghostly presence as they shuffle through darkened corridors. Unlike most foes, they pose no direct threat, instead serving as a haunting reminder of what the Combine can do. And players often feel a mix of revulsion, sympathy, and shock when faced with these figures, uncertain whether to see them as enemies or victims of a far greater evil. The path from Resistance fighter to Stalker is one of sheer horror, a brutal reminder of the Combine's relentless grip over humanity. When rebels or dissidents are captured, they're not simply executed, they're subjected to a fate far worse. Facilities like Nova Prospect serve as processing centers, where the Combine systematically dismantles any trace of individuality. The term processed has become a euphemism for an inescapable transformation into a stalker, a fate so terrifying that it breaks the will of even the most determined fighters. Fear of this conversion looms large among the Resistance, as characters like Alex Vance speak of it with dread, knowing the irreversible nature of such a transformation. For the Combine, this is more than a tool of punishment, it's a psychological weapon, ensuring that the mere threat of becoming a stalker sows doubt, despair, and compliance among the remaining human population. Each converted stalker represents not just a lost life, but a deeply personal warning to anyone still daring to resist. The transformation of a human into a stalker is an agonizing process designed to erase both body and mind, leaving behind only a hollowed-out servant. It begins with brutal physical mutilation. Limbs are removed to prepare the victim for cybernetic replacement, and vocal cords are extracted to ensure complete silence. Eyes are often replaced or obscured to limit sensory input, further isolating the victim from the world they once knew. The surgical phase is followed by the implantation of advanced neural devices that override the individual's autonomy, effectively reprogramming their mind to function as part of the Combine's vast system. Memories, emotions, and any remnants of the victim's identity are wiped clean, leaving behind a mechanical husk capable only of following orders. This process is not carried out for efficiency alone, it's a calculated act of control and domination, one that showcases the Combine's mastery over both biological and technological manipulation. By the time the procedure is complete, the person who once existed is gone, replaced by a being engineered solely for menial labor and maintenance of the Combine's oppressive machinery. Stalkers are among the most harrowing symbols of the Combine's unrelenting pursuit of domination and their utter disregard for the value of human life. Their existence is a form of psychological warfare, serving as a visual representation of the horrors that await anyone who defies the regime. Seeing these mutilated figures shambling through the Citadel or Nova Prospect leaves a lasting impression on the player, emphasizing the stakes of the Resistance fight. Stalkers are more than victims, they represent the ethical void at the heart of the Combine's empire, a regime where people are not just subdued, but completely erased and reconstituted as tools. Their presence deepens the oppressive atmosphere of Half-Life 2, reinforcing the themes of dehumanization and loss that permeate the narrative. For the player, they are a sobering reminder of what's at stake: freedom, not just from oppression, but from a fate that robs humanity of its very essence. The cybernetic enhancements made to Stalkers are designed with cold efficiency, stripping away any unnecessary biological components in favor of mechanical precision. Their skeletal frames are reinforced with metallic braces, while mechanical appendages allow them to perform tasks tirelessly in environments hazardous to organic life. These modifications also extend to their internal systems, where advanced machinery replaces vital organs, ensuring their bodies can endure prolonged periods of labor. The Combine's engineering prioritizes durability and functionality, using every inch of the Stalker's frame to maintain their vast technological infrastructure. Despite these enhancements, the modifications reveal the Combine's indifference to the well-being of their subjects, reducing them to mere instruments of upkeep and repair. The Combine's decision to remove the eyes and vocal cords of Stalkers serves a functional purpose beyond silencing them. Their vision is replaced with specialized sensors, allowing them to perceive their surroundings in ways that surpass human sight, particularly in dimly lit industrial settings where they are most often deployed. This adjustment ensures that their focus remains solely on their tasks, removing any distractions that could hinder their efficiency. The loss of speech further isolates them, ensuring absolute control over their interactions and preventing any chance of communication, especially with other Stalkers. And while the physical alterations are evident, the potential psychological effects of the Stalker transformation add a more speculative layer to their tragedy. Whether their minds are fully erased or fragments of consciousness remain is a topic of debate among the Half-Life community, but either possibility carries unsettling implications. If any trace of awareness lingers, the constant monotony of their existence could serve as a silent internal torment. On the other hand, a completely blank state reflects the Combine's success in creating their utterly obedient workers I've talked about. One of the most persistent misconceptions about Stalkers is that their legs are removed solely to limit mobility or prevent escape. While this assumption seems logical at first, it oversimplifies the true purpose behind the specific modification. The Combine's approach to creating Stalkers is far more calculated than mere physical restraint. Their alterations are not just about incapacitation, they're designed to maximize both utility and control, ensuring the Stalkers remain functional yet dependent. By stripping them of their natural locomotion, the Combine eliminates any possibility of independent movement without their engineered enhancements, further cementing their status as purely mechanical laborers. To dive deeper on this, the replacement of a Stalker's leg is actually replaced with mechanical pegs and is one of the more sinister aspects of their transformation. Unlike the streamlined cybernetic modifications seen elsewhere, these peg legs are crudely bolted directly to the bone, causing constant discomfort. The functionality of the pegs allows them to move within controlled environments, such as the Citadel's maintenance corridors, but the lingering pain is all too evident for them. Another common misconception is that Stalkers are incapable of experiencing physical sensations due to their extensive cybernetic modifications. However, this is far from the truth. The Combine deliberately designs their augmentations to ensure that pain receptors remain active, particularly in areas where mechanical components are attached to their organic bodies. This choice isn't accidental, it serves to keep stalkers in a constant state of discomfort, further reinforcing their subjugation. The fact that their suffering continues long after their transformation speaks to the Combine's deliberate and methodical cruelty. A final misconception is that stalkers have no operational purpose beyond menial labor. While their primary function is to maintain and repair Combine machinery, their modifications also enable them to work in environments that would be lethal to unaltered humans. Their mechanical components can endure extreme temperatures, toxic chemicals, or high radiation areas, making them invaluable for maintaining the Combine's infrastructure in even the harshest conditions. The ongoing suffering of stalkers serves a dual purpose in the Combine's system of domination. Of course, it ensures compliance. The physical agony tied to their movement keeps them subservient and focused on their tasks, reducing the likelihood of errors or resistance. And on the other hand, their visible pain acts as a psychological deterrent to others, like we've talked about. For those who witness the plight of a stalker, the message is clear: defiance equals lifetime of suffering. The first time players encounter a stalker in Half-Life 2 is an unforgettable moment. While making their way through the Citadel, Gordon Freeman witnesses these emaciated figures, their grotesque bodies shuffling through dimly lit corridors. Valve masterfully introduces them in a way that elicits both shock and unease. The atmosphere is thick with tension, amplified by the eerie sound design that includes the faint clanking of their mechanical limbs and their labored, unnatural movements. This encounter sets the tone for what the Stalkers represent, a deeply unsettling glimpse into the Combine's dehumanizing methods. Players are given no direct interaction with the Stalkers at this point, making their silent presence even more haunting. The level design around Stalkers also play a crucial role in emphasizing their significance. In the Citadel, the sterile and oppressive environment mirrors their lifeless existence. Stalkers are shown performing tasks like operating machinery and opening gates, further illustrating their role as tools of the Combine. By showcasing them in their element and using Stalkers as a chilling backdrop to the Citadel's cold efficiency, it really gives the vibe that, why is this happening? Stalkers make brief but impactful appearances in Episode 1, serving to deepen the player's understanding of their grim existence. Early in the game, players encounter Stalkers up close in the Citadel, their bodies illuminated by the flickering light of the crumbling environment. This time, the danger they pose is more immediate, as some operate high-energy machinery that poses a direct threat to Gordon and Alex. These interactions create a heightened sense of urgency, forcing the player to navigate carefully while observing the Stalker's unsettling movements in greater detail. Their presence feels less passive here, as their mechanical tasks are crucial to the Citadel's deteriorating systems, and their role in Half-Life becomes even more apparent. In Episode 2, Stalkers are seen less frequently, but their brief appearances carry significant weight. They are used sparingly, often as a part of environmental storytelling to remind players of the lingering horrors of the Combine's occupation. For example, encountering abandoned Stalker processing equipment in the White Forest facilities reinforces the omnipresent threat of Combine control even in more remote locations. These moments allow the player to reflect on the far-reaching consequences of the Combine's reign, with the Stalkers serving as a reminder of the personal cost of humanity's struggle for freedom. By this point in the series, their role has shifted from purely shocking to deeply symbolic, cementing their place as a haunting element of the game's narrative. Valve's approach to designing Stalkers reflects their commitment to creating an unforgettable atmosphere of dread and oppression. In developer commentaries, the team revealed that the Stalkers were meant to evoke a strong emotional response. Players were intended to feel both revulsion and sympathy upon seeing them. Their emaciated appearance and jerky movements were meticulously crafted to ensure that they felt unnatural and deeply unsettling. Valve also focused heavily on sound design, using subtle mechanical noises and strained breathing sounds to make stalkers seem more lifelike despite their heavily modified bodies. This attention to detail highlights Valve's ability to use environmental and character design to reinforce the oppressive tone of the game's world. Cut content related to stalkers also sheds light on their intended role in the series. Early concept art and unused assets suggest that stalkers were originally designed to play a more prominent role, potentially involving more direct interactions or even combat scenarios. Some scrapped ideas, including scenes where players would witness the conversion process in graphic detail, further emphasizing the Combine's practices. Although these elements didn't make it into the final game, and their omission arguably strengthens the impact of the Stalkers as they exist now, haunting, passive figures whose story is told more through implication than direct confrontation. This restraint in their use makes every encounter with them feel meaningful, leaving a lasting impression on us, the players. Thank you for watching my video. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe, and leave a comment on what you want to see next. Or if you didn't like the video, please leave me some feedback. I'm always trying to improve the channel for you. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Have a good one. Mr. Stawiki out.